You want to introduce her?
Welcome to Armchair Bookers. I am your host, Dustin the Vampiro Hardcastle.
I am
My
co-host, the Steel Man, Christopher Steele. And this month is
Evolution.
Wrestling. Mine's Evolution is gonna be a little bit different than Revolution.
Of course.
In the fact that I am definitely focusing more on story. So you will see, I will talk more about backstage shit. I want to catch you up with what's happened
during my month.
during his month. And then work from there. One of the biggest things to happen is free agent Godfather shows up and challenges Victoria. It's going to be the first one to find any wrestler she wants to represent her in a match against him. If he wins, she becomes one of his fine hoes.
That's a good twist.
And then, and she picked X-Pac.
Fair enough.
And X-Pac lost. So she's one of his hoes. Then he challenges, I'm not sure. I'm thinking, I'm actually going to do one of my members. The next person he challenges, same situation. The difference is, if that person's representative wins, she can free Victoria. And it's going to work that way progressively. You win. You
win the harem or stable.
No, you only get to free one person.
Oh, okay.
But if you lose, your representative loses, whatever, you become one of his fine hoes. And he challenges Lita. Lita has represented her, Jeff, because Matt's
broken and on my stable, on my roster,
and neither of us have Edge.
Right. So Edge could be usable if you wanted to use Edge.
Yeah, but I want to use people out on my show.
Right.
That's the reason why he's even there.
Yeah, exactly.
Why it's featured. So Jeff loses, and Lita is another person, and that leads into this month. Should lead up into this month.
Right.
And should do one more for now, and then I have one that for the pay-per-view. And I think we'll go with Medusa.
Nice.
And she loses.
Who did
her representative loses. I think she would probably go with a Big Cass, and he lost by disqualification.
Okay. There you go.
I know who you would suggest for that one.
Right.
But I gotta look at my roster and figure out.
Right.
So he's gonna challenge China, and China's gonna be like, no, I'll represent myself and take you on. And that's gonna take place at High Evolution. Now, since Triple H retained his championship at Revolution Rising,
Against CM Punk.
we need a number one contender, or we need a championship match, world championship match. He needs an opponent for High Evolution. And free agent The Rock comes to me backstage and asks to be number one contender. I'm like, fine. But I make all the stipulations. Then I come out to the ring and announce the World Heavyweight Championship match. The Rock gets his title match in a gauntlet match. And if The Rock does not come out of High Evolution as the winner, he gets the people's eyebrow shaven, which is actually both, because he's done with
Does it with both. It's the raising that is considered the
right.
people's. How many people in said gauntlet match?
Total of 6.
Do you know who they are?
They're supposed to be a surprise for the pay-per-view.
Okay. We know Triple H is going to be one of them, so it's going to be 5 others.
5 Triple H and 5 others. Backstage, again, you see Paige talking to somebody. You can't see the person she's talking to. Then door shuts, and Alberto Del Rio is looking for her. I know that's gonna be a little bit obvious, so she will be the number one contender for the women's title at High Evolution. I don't know what order I'm going to put matches in, but I do know that her versus Ember Moon. I gotta make it. I'm gonna put. I gotta figure out some other matches. I do know. I know where I'm going. I don't know how I'm getting there on some of the stuff. So, we have decided our first joint pay-per-view
Yes.
will be in July.
Yes.
And that's Summer Blast.
Summer Blast.
We're going to have a total of 4 joint pay-per-views. Thanksgiving Throwdown is our
Survivor Series-ish.
Survivor Series. Our Thanksgiving, our annual Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So, Christmas Carnage, which we've already had one, is going to be another staple.
And then the third, the big one, Cells of Ensamador.
Featuring the Cells of Apocalypse. And again, anybody out there that watches this,
go back and check, look at that episode, listen to the description of. Please, someone make this.
If you have ties to people that can do this shit, promoters, probably Japan promoters would be more willing to do it than anybody else.
Right. Odds are.
Because it's a big match.
Big match.
So, but I know where I'm going to with my pay-per-view after Summer Blast.
Right.
I'm just not positive on how I'm getting there with everything. So I gotta work my way there.
You've got 2 more title matches.
I'm gonna go with
Well, 3 if you want to add your new title.
No, that isn't getting added right away.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with tag team, the Rude Connection.
Okay.
For the tag team titles.
Nice.
And then Samoa Joe is going to challenge for the International.
Okay. Against The Miz.
Against The Miz. And there will be more matches to the pay-per-view because that's kind of short. That's just highlighted right now. Like I said, I got to work some more stuff out. This is to get to where I want to go. Plus, we're having right after your next pay-per-view, our next Armchair Booker following that will be a draft lotto.
Yes.
These people, the people that to fill in our rosters.
Get us up to around 30.
And it's only 5 people each.
Do you want to throw down the list of?
No, well,
I mean not the whole list. Give a taste of what might be added.
Right. You can, if you want, we can. But the whole idea is we're gonna actually pull names.
Yes, literally right here in a hat. I even got the hat.
There's plenty of hats around here. But you want to throw a couple of names down?
Yeah. For instance, Chris Jericho, Lionheart Chris Jericho is in the list.
And these people are automatically on our roster
for at least a year.
For 1 year, and we'll do a whole shake-up type deal.
Of course.
And we're gonna do. I think we're gonna do more. The random pick. I think we discussed it before, and I like the idea of having exemptions.
Yes.
But everybody, like 5 exemptions each.
Right, where we keep 5 major players to our roster.
And then...
With that, though, I would like to include teams as 1 pick because of the tag titles.
Well, we can make it 6. 4 and 1 team.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
That'll work. But then we'll do maybe like 10 random picks.
Right.
And the roster stays the same. Because it'll just be off of our rosters.
Right.
Unless we want to...
Fire someone and get some new faces in.
Right.
Things happen. Not all plans.
Right. And next year, with next year's draft, with the next one draft, it'll work differently. They won't automatically be a year.
Yeah. No. Yeah. This is just a little establishing.
I just wanted to establish these 5. We can't get rid of them.
Right. They are in the roster. They're there. They are. Might be able to work a stipulation in where their contract shifts. Whatever. Storylines happen.
Right. And I think I'm going to keep my Armchair Bookers a little bit shorter.
Right.
I just want to touch up on storylines. And like I said, if I figure something out, I'm not gonna focus a lot on
matches, so to speak.
Detailed matching.
Win or lose, win, lose, win, lose.
Because the matches themselves are for the wrestlers to do.
Right.
Unless I have a particular spot
that is relative to the story, not going to hear much on spots. Or when on my months, you'll probably hear a lot of wicked spots because I imagine up some pretty crazy shit.
Right.
So, you see why we like to work together.
Right. And it's we only had a few spots for the South.
Right.
And we worked them out together.
Yeah.
The blowing up of the Miz.
That was the selling point that changed me on the Miz, and then he started throwing down killer interviews. Like that spot was set like months before we even.
A month and a half or 2 months.
I'm thinking about two and a half, almost 3 months. It was like
early
January.
I thought it was early February.
I was thinking late January, so I just jumped to Jan. But yeah, that's how far ahead we think. So if you think we're just pulling this out of the seat of our ass, we're not.
Yeah, like I said, I do have storyline set up.
Thick notebooks. Thick empty
I
notebooks.
just don't have how I'm getting there yet.
Right. And I have that already. I've got 5 or 6 options of what I want to do.
But
and
except for a couple of things we've discussed.
Right.
And how I'm getting certain places with certain stories. I just haven't figured out because I already know pay-per-view after Summer Blast.
Right. If you don't mind, I can throw in 5 minutes of what would be happening in mine, right now.
That's fine.
You can add another 2 names to the Godfather list, as he would have challenged both of the Usos gauntlet style, beat them both to get Naomi, and then beat Rick Martel to get Sherry. So you can add Sherry and Naomi to the currently in his roster of hoes list.
And that happened this month?
Yeah, within this month in the alternating
that way you don't have to go back next month.
And recap, hit the recap. I can just bust out my shows 1, 2, 3. I mean, if you're just going to be more story backstage based, I'll just, throw my 2 cents in. And that's pretty much I don't really have anything else other than who my number 1 contenders are. Miz is getting closer to being uninjured.
All right, and we got plans for that.
Strowman, you can see, is already starting to get pissed off at being Braun Strowman. He thought it was funny for 10 minutes, and then it's starting to wear thin. But he's technically
and should we tell him that Summer Blast, our first
joint pay-per-view,
it will be every match will be
show versus show.
Evolution versus Revolution.
Right.
Title matches.
I'm thinking around 9 to 11 matches total.
I'm thinking a big 6-on-6 or something.
Yeah.
Or 5-on-5 like a Survivor.
I was thinking,
Survivor.
yeah, 4-on-4, 5-on-5, something like that, because Survivor Series matches go either way.
Right.
Do one of those as the big blow off at the end.
The main event.
Yeah. Well, second to main event because the world title will always be the main event.
The world title is always the highlighted match in my mind.
The only thing that should surpass a world title match is a match for the company, in my opinion. Because it's the only thing one step above.
Not this year's.
Last year's WrestleMania.
Last year's The Undertaker versus Shane.
That should have ended the show. Because it was for the company. It's the only way, as a writer, I would have fought. I would have gotten fired because I'd be fucking stupid. What the hell are you thinking? It's the company. Who gives a damn about the belt if the company, and it didn't matter anyway because the way it was worded, everybody's well, Shane didn't win, what's he still doing here? Because Vince didn't say he had to win. He just said, you give me one match on one night and you can have what you want. And he got exactly what he wanted. One match, one night, Shane got exactly what he wanted. Twice.
Technically, not really.
He wanted Raw, then they did the brand split, and then when he did the brand split, he's like, well, no, I want SmackDown. And Stephanie's like, fine, no, I want SmackDown. Hold up, wait. What's this shit? You wanted Raw. And he's like, yeah, but no, this is a new venture. I can, beat my dad at his own game.
Right.
He took on Raw, I'll take on SmackDown, and Daddy's still running the show on both of them anyhow. Nothing goes on air without Vince going, yep or nope.
Nope. Vince McMahon likes big sweaty man.
Vince McMahon likes big sweaty man.
So that's pretty much gonna be it for this time. It does also give me some leeway to give more matches next time before the show. Tell you more not non-championship matches.
Right. You got about 3 more spaces or more.
Right.
You got how many ever you want. I've just got it. It's marked out so far.
Right. I do want to use most of my roster.
Right. The way I'm looking at this right now, you could have like 3 or 4 more matches of like number 1 contenders from your end of who would be facing next.
I might not do that because I'm going to have a couple months before my next show after that.
Right. See, and where mine is, the number 1 contendership between pay-per-views is shifted just like a title.
I get that.
Like the match, the Revolution works more in a ranking system. It's mainly kept up here. I've got a piece of paper at home where everybody's kind of ranked out in top 5s of where they're at, and the rest are all kind of floating. They're trying to float.
Well, I got a certain storyline in mind,
right?
And I don't need to have a number 1 contender
in order for that to happen. Whereas mine is the storyline is based in.
Plus, like I said, 2 months, I don't know who's going to be champions.
Right. Exactly. Some things can change. Do top 3s?
What do you want to do this week?
I was thinking top 3 finishers. Like your top 3 favorite finishers of all time. To watch, they look most evident. I think to watch. If top 3 most favorite finishers to watch. Like when you see it, you're just like, yeah, that is a sick move.
Do we want top or bottom or?
We'll start from the bottom and work up.
Okay, so you go ahead, go first.
Okay, that gives you more time to think. That's good because I've already thought about this. My bottom, my number 3 finisher is a tag team finisher called the Meltzer Driver. It's on an independent circuit. The Young Bucks use it. It's a tombstone pile driver that's spiked with a 450. It's a pretty sick move. Look up the Meltzer Driver on YouTube if you're a wrestling fan. Have at it. You better be a wrestling fan if you're watching this. Otherwise, you watch.
All right, that you did help me out. The only a few people really have done this move. The first one to pull it off on American television was Kidman.
Not technically true.
Wow. He gets credit for it.
Yeah, he does get credit, but he's the first American to pull it off on American television, but not the first person to pull it off on American television. Liger's the first one to do it on American television.
On a consistent basis, though.
Right, yeah. It was his finish. Liger was a high spot, and
really, McMahon's done it.
Mark Merrow did it for a while. When he was the Wild Man, that was his finish for quite a bit.
But his doesn't work.
His looked like Lesnar's, half-assed and shoddy at best.
The shooting star press.
Yes.
It is a great move if done properly. And it really is a smaller man's move.
Yes. The fact that Lesnar even attempted it was just mind-frickin' boggling. The thing is, he would have hit it perfectly had Kurt been like 4 foot closer. It looked spot on, been perfect.
Kidman did it great, and so did what's his name? WWE CCW. Dude,
Paul London?
No.
Black or white?
White guy. Oh, white guy.
Spanky?
No, I'll think of it later. But shooting star press.
Your number 3. My number 2 would probably have to go to the 619. I love that move. Ray hits it so fluidly.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. You're gonna might be a little bit surprised that I'm picking this as number 2, but it's gonna be Pedigree.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm saying surprised that it's number 2, only number 2.
I'm not surprised that it's number 2 because I know probably what your number 1 is.
But it is a great move.
You might not necessarily like the guy that does it, but that finisher you love.
No, my number 1 is probably gonna be different than
What I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the Pedigree, it was especially the original Pedigree when he had the
Right.
arms locked the whole time. That looked
the dangerous one that got is banned.
Yup, you know it.
But yeah, that Pedigree is
Your number.
my number 2. It's a great looking move.
It is. It is a great looking move. My number 1. My number 1 pick. Curb Stomp. Wish they'd bring it back. Love that move. Looks so devastating. Doesn't actually harm a fly when done properly.
Right.
And Rollins is the perfect one to do it.
All right, and there's stupid reasons why it's even
Not a move.
banned.
Right.
All right, so my number 1 is the Randy Savage elbow drop. He did it. No, I never seen anybody pull it off like him.
No. He had 2 formations of the elbow as he'd come down. In the 80s, he'd come down like this and kind of like tuck everything into a side. But in WCW, he would grab that hand and just like try and drive right through the chest.
It was a beautiful elbow drop.
Gorgeous, painful as all hell from every account that I've ever heard. Like he tried to drive his elbow through their chest. But Savage was he was real. Like his voice, the voice never went away. Like he was always
right. Ambrose would be probably the closest to a modern Savage. Always in character. He doesn't want to go out of character.
Right. Ambrose, yeah, they never leave. Yeah.
So, I think that's about it. It's a little bit surprised.
Yeah,
I had his elbow drop.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. You know my guess.
Yeah.
F5.
Oh, I get that. I understand.
As the true inventor of the F5, I think that I would have thought that would have been your favorite move.
No, it's one of my least favorite moves because
it's done by Brock freaking Lesnar, and you get no credit or glory out of it.
It was stolen move.
Right, it was.
Maybe we'll talk about that on Not So Random Ass.
The Not So Random Ass podcast might be the good place to do that.
All right, so till next time.
Till next time, ring that bell. Keep random.
Ding ding.